Hi friends, for today's video I wanted to show you how to crochet this beautiful cardigan you see right here. It is only 2 hexagon panels that you need to make, so it is so easy to make, and I will show you how you can make it in any size you want, so it is easily customizable. The only tedious part I would say is the ribbon part, but come on, I think it is so worth it. It feels like a blanket is hugging me, so if you want to be ready for fall and feel like having one, make sure to keep watching and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get started. Okay, so to start this beautiful cardigan, you will need some yarn. I will be using sport weight yarn by We Crochet. I will link it on the description. And I will be using my 5.0mm hook. So I'm gonna start with the white. And for this cardigan, you can use one color, a lot of colors, whatever you want. I'm gonna use a whole bunch of colors that I have, and so I'm just gonna start with a magic ring, and this is gonna be sort of like a granny square but hexagon shape. Now chain 3, that counts as a double crochet, and now you're gonna make 2 more inside that ring. So yarn over, insert your hook, grab your yarn, go through, yarn over, go through 2 loops, and again go through 2 loops. Another one. Now chain 2 to make a corner, and make 3 more double crochets. Chain 2, and that forms another corner, so you're gonna do this until you have 6 sides. Okay, so I have my 6 sides, and now I'm gonna pull on this tail to close the center. And slip stitch on that last chain I did. And that's it for that round. So to start the next one, you're gonna chain 4, that counts as a double crochet in 1 chain. And you're gonna make 2 groups of 3 double crochets with 2 chains in between. Chain 2, and another group right there. Chain 1, and do the same thing on the next chain 1 space. Chain 1, and that's it for that round. So keep doing that on each chain 1 space from the previous round until you get here again. So once you get here to the last chain 1 space, you're gonna make a normal group, chain 2, and then make 2 more, because remember this counts as a double crochet, and slip stitch on the 3rd chain. Chain 1, and if you are changing colors, you can just cut off your yarn right here like I'm about to do. Otherwise, you can just keep going with 1 color. So to join in your next color, you can just go ahead and insert your hook in that last chain 1 space you used. Bring in your new yarn. Do a slip stitch, and again chain 4, and that of course counts as a double and 1 chain. Now yarn over, and remember to hold your tails in the back, that way you can hide them at the same time if you insert your hook underneath the tails every stitch you make. So yarn over and go into that chain 1 space and do a group of 3. chain 2 because that is one of the corners, and do another group. Now chain 1 and do one group right here, just 3 double crochets, chain 1 and do a corner right there, so exactly as this one, a group of 3 doubles, 2 chains, and another group in that same space. Chain 1, and that's it for that round. So make corners, every corner you see, and one simple group in between. And on the back, this is how it's looking once you start hiding the tails. So I'm gonna finish this off camera and I'll meet you here. So once you get here, you're gonna make 2 more double crochets inside that chain 1 space and slip stitch on that 3rd chain, and that's it for that round. So as you can see, it's gonna be corners with one group in between, and don't forget the chains as well. So to start the next round, just slip stitch on this middle right here, this chain 1 space, just so you can be right in the center, and chain 3, double crochet, 2 more right there, 2 more double crochets right there, chain 1, and as you can see, it's gonna be almost the same thing. Once you get to a corner, do 2 groups of 3 double crochets with 2 chains in between, and the other chain 1 spaces, just do a simple group of 3, and don't forget the chains in between. So you're gonna keep doing this row after row, repeating this 3rd and 4th row over and over until it reaches right around here, or your fingers, because you want it really puffy. Or if you don't, you can maybe do until here, but I want it really puffy. In a minute I'm going to show you how you're going to fold it to form the cardigan and how you can know when to stop. So I'm going to finish this round right here just so you can see how it will look, and yeah, I'm going to continue off camera. So once you get here, slip stitch on that 3rd chain, chain 1, and I can cut off my yarn right there to change colors. If not, you can go ahead and chain 4, but I'm gonna cut it right there because I want a whole bunch of colors. And so that's it. As you can see, it's gonna get wavier and wavier. That's normal, so don't panic. To join the next color, I'm just gonna do, like I said, join it right here and chain 4. That counts as a double in 1 chain, and do my group here, corner, 3 more groups, corner, and so on. So like I said before, keep repeating this 3rd and 4th row over and over until you have the measurement that you want. So this is awesome about this cardigan, that you can make it in any size you want. So I'll see you when I have all the rows that I want. Okay, so I wanted to show you where I'm at and where I'm planning to stop. So here is my hexagon, and as you can see, it's pretty wavy, and that is normal. And what you're gonna do to form the cardigan, I'm gonna take the one where I have the tail right here, and right side is this one you're looking at, and I'm gonna fold it in half, that side, and I'm gonna take my other corner, and there you have half of your cardigan. So as you can see, it almost touches my fingertips, and that's why I'm planning to stop. I want it really baggy, but not that baggy. So that's where I'm going to stop. And remember that you're gonna have maybe 2 inches of ribbon here, so do not put it like exactly on your neck. Maybe if you don't want the ribbon, but I do want it, so I'm gonna put it like right there. And yeah, I'm gonna put on some stitch markers just so you can see how it looks like. Okay, so I put on the stitch markers and I'm gonna try it on, or sort of try it on, and yeah, this is how it's going to look like. And obviously this part I'm gonna shrink it, or if you don't want to, you don't have to, but I'm gonna do it. And so I sort of looked at myself in the mirror, and yeah, I liked how poofy it is. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that, and I'm gonna show you how you're gonna shrink this part just so it fits your wrist, and also how to put it together. So I also have to do the other half, obviously. So I'll see you then. So now you're gonna take your color of choice and do the ribbon, and I also grab my 4.5mm hook. So start by making a slip knot and insert your hook, and the ribbon, you can make it however wide you want. It's gonna sit around here, so you can make it as wide as short as you want. For myself, I'm gonna make 10 chains. Okay, it's gonna go right around here, and that is how it's going to look. So you're gonna start by making single crochets on the chains and start on the second chain from the hook. Once you get to the other side, you're gonna chain one and turn around. And now you're gonna do single crochets, but on the back loop only. So insert your hook right there, grab your yarn and go through, and do your single crochets. So easy as that. You're gonna keep doing this row after row. Every time you begin a new one, you're gonna chain one, of course, and you're gonna do this until it wraps around your wrist. Not too loose, but also not too tight, because remember, the ribbon stretch a little bit. So I'm gonna do this off camera because it's pretty simple, and I'll see you when I have all the rows that I want. Okay, so I did all the rows that I wanted. I ended up making 24, and it wraps around my wrist comfortably. It's not too tight or not too short, just perfect. And so the next step would be to do a row of single crochets right here on top. So after chaining one, you're just gonna go right ahead on that row and do single crochet. So to determine where you should put it, just put it one every thick row and one every, like, that loop you see right there. That way you won't miss a row and you'll have the exact amount of single crochets that you need. In my case, it's gonna be 24. So I'm gonna keep doing this until I reach the other side. So once you have all of your single crochets finished, you're gonna chain one and take one of the sides on the panel. I chose where I ended with my tail here, and you're gonna measure this side 3 times. You're gonna need a pretty long tail to attach it to your panel. So just do this and put it against your panel. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're gonna have a pretty long tail here, and maybe you'll have excess at the end, but it's better to have more than you need than less. So now I'm just gonna pull it up. I already cut my yarn. Have your needle nearby, but first I'm gonna need to fold this in half to determine where my middle is. I'm gonna put it right around here. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, just an estimate. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the ribbon. And the reason for this is that when you are putting it together, you want it to be equal around the ribbon, and you don't want too much on one side and then have an excess of panel when you are finishing attaching it to the panel. So yeah, you're just gonna insert your tail in the needle here. Careful not to tangle it or anything. Right now, the right side is looking at me. Let me see. I think this is about right because I want the attaching part to be on the wrong side. So right side is looking at me, and I'm gonna start right here. So I'm just going to go in on that corner right there. And I'm gonna do this maybe a few times per group of double crochets on each single crochet on the ribbon, because there's a lot and you have a small ribbon. So just gonna go in on that first single crochet I did and go into that first double crochet. And I'm going to go in again on that same single crochet, but on the next double on the other side. And the same thing again. And I'm going to go ahead and skip the chain one spaces and just continue with the double crochets. So I'm gonna do maybe the next single here, or I can use the same one to attach the second group. But yeah, I'm just gonna make sure that whenever I am putting it together, I have to align this center with this center. That's why you have to put in the stitch markers. So I'm gonna keep doing this off camera because it's pretty simple. Just make sure that your centers align and everything will be okay. So I am right here, and as you can see, the two middles are right there next to each other, and so I'm just gonna take them off and do the rest of the row and making sure that all is even. So I have to make sure that these two corners meet right there when I finish putting it together. So yeah, I did put maybe 2 groups of double crochets and 3 or 4 on this side, just so you know, and I was able to meet them in the middle. So I made it all the way to the other side, and this is how it's looking on the right side. So definitely I did the right thing, and I have a lot of tail, but that's okay, you can cut it later. And again, it's better to have excess than to have less. So right now I'm gonna fold it like this. And I'm gonna put these two sides together. So I'm going to go in on the other side, the side closest to me, and insert it on the other side and just start weaving it in. And make sure that you are going in and out on the same side on both sides, otherwise it's gonna look crooked. Once you get here, I'm just gonna take off my needle, and I'm gonna use this tail I have right here from the beginning to do a simple knot. If your tail is not on this side, then you can just go ahead and do a simple knot right here, just go in and out and do a knot. But I'm gonna use these two just to do a simple knot, and then I will hide it with a needle. And now I can cut off my excess yarn. Just gonna leave it right there, and then I will hide it with a needle. So the next step would be to put this together. I'm changing back to my 5.0mm hook and this color that I have here, and I'm just gonna go into the corner, the chain 2 space, and attach my yarn, slip stitch. And now to put it together, you're gonna pick up the loop closest to you on this side and both of the loops on this side. Grab your yarn and go through the loops on your hook. Again, insert your hook on the loop closest to you, just that one, and both of the loops on the side closest to you, and slip stitch. Once you get to the chain 1 space, you can do the same thing, go in on this side, then on this side, go through and do a slip stitch. So keep repeating this until you get to the other side. Make sure that both sides are matching, and so I'll see you when I finish right here, which is the back. Once you get here, you're just gonna insert your hook on both of the corners, grab your yarn and go through, yarn over and go through 2 loops, just like a single crochet, yarn over, or chain 1 I should say, and pull it up. I already cut my yarn so you can see, and that would be it for putting the side together. So obviously you're gonna make 2 of these. So this is my first one. I'm gonna make another one off camera, and then I'll need you to put both sides together. Okay, so I have both of my panels here, and we're gonna put together the back part, meaning that you're gonna choose whatever side you want, and you're gonna choose which one is going to be the back. So you're gonna put this part together because obviously on the front it's supposed to be open. So I'm just gonna do the same technique I used on the sleeves. I'm gonna go in on the corners here and attach my yarn. Slip stitch, and just to remind you, grab the loop closest to you on this side and both of the loops on the other side. Grab your yarn and go through the loops on your hook. Again, grab the loop closest to you on this side, then both of the loops on this side. Grab your yarn and go through the loops on your hook. Easy as that. I'm going to continue this off camera because it's the same technique as the sleeves, and obviously I'm going to do it until I get to the bottom. Once you get to the bottom, just like the sleeve, insert your hook on this side, then on this side, go through and do a single crochet, chain 1, and you can cut off your yarn. So now I have the bottom here of the cardigan, and I'm gonna attach my white color on this corner right here. Slip stitch and single crochet in that same space, and you're gonna make 1 single crochet per stitch and per chain 1 space. So easy as that. Just do single crochets all along the edge until you get to the other corner. And yeah, so I'll see you when I get to the other side. So I'm at the other side, and right now I'm going to start the ribbon, but I was debating between the 5.0 and the 4.5, so I'm going to do a few rows, see if I like it. So you should do the same. Right now I'm going to keep my 5.0, and I'm just going to start my chains and the ribbon. So just gonna do 10 chains. And another thing, this is another part that you can also customize. So the longer the chains, the wider it's gonna be. And right now I'm gonna return with my single crochets, just like I did on the ribbon for the wrist. Once you get here, you're gonna put your panel sort of like this, and you're gonna slip stitch on the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2, and now you're gonna turn back around and do the same thing. You're gonna single crochet on the back loop only. So insert your hook right there and start your single crochets, and to come back it's gonna be the same thing, chain 1 here and come back down. Okay, so I return back down to the main panel, and I'm gonna do the same thing, slip stitch 2 times back to back, and that's basically it for the ribbon on the bottom. I'm gonna keep doing this row after row until I obviously reach the other side. I have finally reached the other side, so all the bottom is finished, and now I'm going to do the side of the cardigan, the front part. So it's gonna be almost the same thing. I already chain 1, and I'm gonna start making single crochets, grabbing both loops in this case. And yeah, I'm gonna do this all the way until I get to the other side. Of course, don't forget the chain 1 spaces, and you're gonna pass through what would be the color, and so I recommend not putting too much single crochets, maybe one per corner, because you want to tighten this. You don't want it to be too wide or anything. So yeah, once you get to the other side, you're going to do the same thing you did on the bottom. Chain the amount of chains you did. In my case is 10. And just start making your single crochets on the second chain from the hook. And just like the bottom, when you get here, you're gonna, and just like the bottom, you're gonna start doing slip stitches on the single crochets you did. So you can set up your sweater or your cardigan like this and do 2 slip stitches back to back, and then continue doing your single crochets on the ribbon, on the back loop only, of course. So this is pretty much it. It's the same technique as the bottom. I have finally reached the other side, and I'm just gonna slip stitch on that corner right there. I already cut my yarn, so I'm just gonna chain 1 and pull it up. And that's it for this beautiful cardigan. So obviously I will hide all of the tails that are around, but yeah, that would be it for this beautiful cardigan. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy making this one. I know I did. So if you do make it, make sure to leave a comment, tell me which colors you choose. And like always, if you enjoy my content, make sure to turn on those notifications and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.